Hi, I'm John Robison from JE Robison Service in Springfield, Massachusetts. We've been service and restoration and technical support for classic Rolls-Royce and Bentley motor cars for 33 years. We're actually on the grounds of the original Springfield Rolls-Royce plant here in Springfield. Today we're looking at a fairly unusual car, a 1987 Bentley Continental Drophead. This car is built on the body of the Rolls-Royce Corniche, but the Bentley version is a lot less common, a lot more desirable. See the Bentley grille here and a few different trimmings. This car is also distinguished from the Corniche by these 15-inch alloy wheels, which Bentley introduced on the Turbo R in America and carried them over onto this car. This car is offered for sale by one of our longtime clients. He purchased this car from a classic dealer in Long Island. At the time, the car was red, and he had the dealer paint it green, as you see. If we move in and look at the reflections in the hood here, and we look at the reflections in the trunk, you can see that we have, nice, clear, bright paint on the car. Looking inside here, you can see that they did a good job. They painted in here in the jambs. You can look up in there and you can see that that's all properly finished. It's painted inside here, all around. It's been finished, the hinges and all in here. So really no sign of the original red paint, but because the car had a color change, something that we have to disclose. This car has had quite a lot of service done. Moving onto the hood. This car has 36,000 original miles on it. When we got it, we went through all the necessary services. We have new bushings and ball joints in the struts and strut towers here. On top of the engine, you can see the fuel distributor is kind of bright and shiny. We pulled the fuel distributor and we had it rebuilt, and we fitted 8 new injectors. Our company is Bosch Factory Service. This is Bosch injection in these cars. While that was off, we also pulled the valve covers. We updated the valve covers from the original cork to the newer rubber gaskets, and we replaced the valve stem seals on the engine to reduce oil consumption, and it's put back together with all fresh seals elsewhere, new plugs, all new fluids, engine, transmission, all that. Air conditioner is charged and working. The vehicle was last serviced in January of 2020, right before the pandemic, and the car has actually been in our climate-controlled warehouse since then. So it actually hasn't been out, hadn't been out in the weather since that time. Inside, the car has, really nice original leather seating. All the carpeting is original. You can see the Mulliner Park Ward heel pad is in very good shape, and the original leather on the steering wheel. The wood was showing some cracking, so we pulled the door cappings, the quarter cappings, pulled all the dash and center console wood. That was all sent out and refinished at Madeira Concept, so it's very good quality finishing on the wood. Back here, the car contains the original toolkit here. It's got the original owner's books. This is the original flask for the liquor cabinet by the driver's door, and it's got a couple of the original shot glasses. That's a rare thing to find in one of these cars. I'll show you where those go. In 1987, you could still order a car with a liquor cabinet right here in the door. A few years after this car was made, they made that illegal in the United States, but it's got a little locking cabinet. So we'll start this, you can see it run. Engine smooth, No unusual noises. Next, I'd like to show you the operation of the windows and convertible top. And we get the windows on the other side. And the top. This car has the original boot. At least it appears original to me. In 1987, Rolls-Royce made a change which is called the 20,000 series. You can tell a 20,000 series car by its serial number. On the placard here in the door jamb, this car is CX16859. So this car is one of the last cars built before they made the change to 20,000 series. For Bentley, the 20,000 series cars are model year 1998. These are pretty rare cars. There are probably fewer than 50 Bentley Continental Dropheads of this year in North America. Looking in with the top down, you can see that there's some spots of wear in the interior. It has some patina, but overall, it's really, it's a nice original leather interior. It's actually still got the original Rolls-Royce catalytic converter warning on top of the driver's sun visor, which is something you don't see too often. On the outside, there are very few blemishes in the paint. There's a small spot here, perhaps an imperfection when they painted it. There's what looks like maybe a slight sap spot right there. On the back bumper, there is some cracking, perhaps car touched something backing up at some point. The sides of the car are very clean. There's a minor chip at the edge of this door. It's a minor chip at the edge of the hood there. A small chip here at the corner where the front bumper cover meets the piece that wraps around the side. Another couple small spots on the front face, the driver's side front cover. Overall, this car's finish looks better than most Bentley Dropheads of this age. This car has fairly new Hankook tires on it. As I said earlier, all of the general chassis service is up to date. The hydraulic fluid has been recently flushed. Engine oil's fresh. Transmission, rear axle fluid, power steering fluids are all fresh in the car. It's all functioning. The convertible top is working okay. You saw that I gave it a slight push to close it and it comes up. That's all working fine. We can maybe start the car up again and take it for a short ride. This is the typical engine sound in these cars. The odometer showing 36,211. It's just turning over 36,212. Trip odometer is also working. Engine smooth at a stoplight. It's not shaking. It says the original General Motors AM/FM radio. It's kind of a quaint curiosity nowadays. Has power seats. Power seats all work. These are your power mirrors. These are working. Cruise control in this car is not working, but I believe all the other accessories are. The car's free of loud rattles. It's tight going down the road. You can see it's responsive at the wheel. Braking, car stops straight, as you can see. In the afternoon sun, the wood in this car really looks good. Look at what a nice job Madeira did refinishing this. You know, the grain is really striking. It really stands out. It's nice and clear. It's hard to believe that this car was built the year I started handling Rolls-Royce and Bentley service back when they were one company. We'll take the car up onto the highway and give it a brief run up to 65 or so. These Bentley versions corner a little flatter than the Rolls-Royce Corniche counterparts. So you notice that, for example, taking the turn onto the highway here. It's got a GM 400 automatic transmission. It's smooth and adequately powerful. It's stepped right up to 55, 60 miles an hour here. No vibrations, no pulling, no drifting. Very comfortable car to drive. The thing about these cars is these are vintage cars today, and they're very desirable as collectible cars, but these will drive and perform at modern levels. You can drive this car in city traffic, it won't overheat. You can drive it 70 miles an hour on the interstate. You can drive it to the beach 200 miles away. It's something you can use as a car, and yet it's still a collectible. So it's kind of a nice thing about cars from the 80s and 90s. Now you can watch it as we come into the exit here. You'll see it's very smooth, slowing down. No pulling, no drifting, no shaking. See, it's silent running over these bumps in the street. That's partly because of the new bushings that we put in that I showed you earlier. Well, thanks for joining me today. Once again, I'm John Robison from JE Robison Service. You can find me online at www.robisonservice.com. The link to find this car on Bring a Trailer auction site is below in the description. Thank you.